once you've logged into IXL and clicked on the Learning tab, you will see that right here there is a tab called Skill Plans. If you were to click on Skill Plans, you could select, for example, skill plans in not all subject, but in math. And then you could select, if you're teaching 5th grade, you could do that as well if you wanted. As you scroll down, what you're going to see is that there are textbooks that correlate to the content that we're using. The reason this is particularly helpful is it takes the mystery out of how you can effectively help students who need remediation work in content that you're doing in your book. So let's say you are on lesson 1.2, which covers place value with whole numbers. And you have a student that is struggling with writing numbers using words all the way to the millions place value and then converting those digits to words. So they're on lesson 1.2. Well, they have all these skills right here that correlate back to this lesson. And I've actually used this resource when I felt like the way that the lesson was set up in the textbook was not helping a certain student. Maybe they needed more rote learning, more experience, just more exposure to something in order to really establish a strong academic connection with the idea. And so I would say, you know what, I'm going to have you not do the book. I'm going to have you log into IXL and do this lesson right here. And of course, you can see that the whole lesson then has these questions associated with it. They answer the questions and their SMART score goes all the way up to 100. If they get something wrong, it has tutorials that help them out with it. And it really becomes this really amazing remediation tool, but it actually can also be used, kind of circling back to something I said before, it can be used to help present a lesson that maybe the book frankly could just do a better job at doing, or maybe the book doesn't spend enough time on an idea and you want to make sure that kids are getting more exposure to content. The challenge with 5th grade, anyone teaching 5th grade math, is that there are 14 chapters in 5th grade. And I have really used IXL in order to get through the standards that are spread throughout those 14 chapters, which is several more chapters than any of the other grade levels, at least in the 5th or 8th grade world. And one way to do that is to see, how do these standards right here that are listed on the right side align with the concept you're doing here in the actual lessons. And one area that I've found I can use IXL to help get through content is in, I think it's chapter... Well, actually, for me it was chapter 12, because I love the way that this was laid out. But for you, it may be something else. For me, it was chapter 12 that we could get through quickly using IXL. And it just helped me to kind of think of a scope and sequence that was doable for my 5th graders. And it wasn't only chapter 12, I think there was other things too. It really helped us get through the content that was in the book, spread out over 14 chapters, but making sure we were getting through everything. So, wonderful resource. Guess what? It's not only for 5th grade, they also have it for 1st, kindergarten, all the way through algebra 2, within big ideas. So if you teach kindergarten or 1st grade, for example, here's a picture of their book, here's the lessons, here's the standards and the content that correlates to the actual lesson in the book that you're working on. Amazing resource.